Shout out if y'all play Far Cry 6.
Yes, Far Cry
Type
6.
GG in the chat.
Yeah, GG in the chat.
We're going to talk about all that later.
I can kind of see the chat over there, and I saw just a bunch of foot emojis like flying by. So appreciate the energy in the chat. All right, it's time for musical musings. So tonight, the topic is kind of about, it's like how music adds emotion to media, basically, I guess. And so we've talked in the past, like, about what we stand for as a band.
We stand for being a nerd.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? That's what we stand for. We stand for all the music nerds out there. Musicality is something that's really important to us, like making something musical. Being creative is something that's really important to us. And also, I think just the philosophy of music, or just like thinking about music. So,
we've learned a lot about life from learning music.
True, yes. We may have kind of talked about this a little bit in the past in like a certain way, but this is a new angle for it. So we thought it would be interesting. So yes, like I said a little bit earlier, I'm playing through the new Far Cry 6. It's freaking awesome, dude. I'm like obsessed with it. I've been lost in that world all weekend. So there was a mission that you go on, and the person you're going on the mission with is the boyfriend of your friend who basically dies at the beginning of the game so you can escape. You know, it's the classic, like, oh, I don't know if I can trust you kind of thing, because, like, the girlfriend died so that you could come here. But he kind of opens up a little bit before the mission, and he's like, yeah, we used to sing a little song before we do the mission to psych ourselves up. And it's the Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Ciao, Ciao. It's like that little, song. I'm sure you guys have heard at least that stupid, like EDM remix that's been going around on TikTok or wherever. So he just like, you hear him like literally sing it a little bit before you start the mission. And then you start the mission, and I'm trying to be all like sneaky or whatever, right? But that all goes to shit because you're supposed to light the plants. You're supposed to like light this tobacco field on fire. So I start lighting it on fire, and obviously the enemies like take notice of that, and so they start coming after us. And so as soon as like the shit all hits the fan with this mission, the actual Bella Ciao song like comes on.
They like built up to this thing and left this auditory cue for this emotional thing.
Yeah.
And then once you're like in battle,
then
they re-give you the cue in a new form.
Yes.
And it's more intense.
And it was so impactful because obviously like there's the emotional angle of like, it was their little thing before she died. Right. But also it just made the whole like battle like so fun, and like I was sitting there like dancing along and like lighting shit on fire, like blowing shit up. That is like a perfect example of the power of music in storytelling.
What was the word? It's like
pull up the show notes.
Oh, transcendental.
Because
it transcends the media. Or like, what I was going to talk about was like in Star Wars. I'm pretty sure most people have seen Star Wars, like Episode 4, the original with Luke Skywalker. At the very beginning, there's that scene where he's looking over all the sand dunes at the sun's setting.
Yeah,
and there's that line, that melody line that comes up, and it's like soup. It gives you chills. Like it sends chills like literally up your spine because it's like so emotional, and it has this like feeling of like hope because all he wants to do is get out there and like make a difference, and like he wants to get off the desert planet and just see the universe. So he's like young and full of hope and everything. It's literally called A New Hope.
Yeah.
In a first person perspective game,
yeah,
you're literally like seeing the sights and sounds. They literally are like already putting you in their shoes.
Yeah.
You're seeing all the sights and sounds. I mean, we don't have smell-o-vision yet, so you can't smell anything. They can give you the sights and sounds, but once they start adding that layer of like music and sound, then it, like we've been saying, it transcends because then you also feel their like emotions, and it's so powerful. But yeah, it's like it's almost more real because it's not even, it's taking you like even more into it than just being like immersed, because you're like emotionally like empathizing with the characters and everything.
I guess I'll start the next little part. I wanted to talk about rap because it goes along with what we're talking about. And I guess before I do that, in the comments, let me know whether you guys listen to like mostly stuff with rapping or mostly stuff with singing, because I'd be interested to see the breakdown. But yeah, rap is like, it's lyrics, it has a melody, like everything has a melody. It may be a one-note melody, but typically it's lyrics without the same kind of melody that you normally get with like singing.
Yeah.
And the reason why I stopped doing it in our music is, for one, I suck at it. as you guys have all heard if you've seen us reacting to our old music. But also because for the same reason that like that scene is elevated to a new emotional level in A New Hope or whatever because of the soundtrack.
Right.
I think lyrics, they can be emotional on their own.
Yeah, like poetry is a thing.
Yeah, like poetry. But there's a new layer that is added with the melody that comes along with like when you're singing. And to me, that's like what really pulls on my heartstrings, because I kind of see it similarly to like in a TV show or something. Like, it's a stupid example, but like How I Met Your Mother, right? During like the breakup scenes, I never got like emotional when they were just talking about it. But then they would put that stupid like pop song or whatever on in the background, and then I'm like, oh, they're so sad. They're like, you know what I mean?
Because it keeps bringing you back to that emotion.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, I kind of see it as the same way. For me, like my experience is that I really want that melody to deliver the emotion.
Well, and I think like not only putting lyrics to a melody, but melody is emotionally impactful because of like harmony, and harmony is basically just context. Typically harmony, you have like chords or a bass line and you have a lead melody line.
Yeah.
But even if you just have a lead, there's still implied harmony in there because of the relationships between all the notes and the intervals that you're playing. So like putting the lyrics to that melody, I think it gives them even more context in the grand sense of the whole song or the piece that you're writing or listening to.
For sure.
With like rap, you've been given as an example, is like the lyrical delivery is mostly just rhythmic. But there are some rappers that kind of sing, like Eminem, I think, has a good, really good ear for melody.
Yes.
Like just the Venom, like the Venom song. That song is dope, dude.
That like little those like chromatic lines in there.
And he's in like a Phrygian scale or something like that. And there's even like in like movies and stuff we were talking about a second ago. There's like there's a couple different layers of like sound. There's the dialogue and all of the like sound effects of like the environment and all the stuff that they want you to focus on and hear that gives it like the realism aspect. There's music, and then there's also like just like the emotional like sounds, like especially in like a horror movie they have those like boom, or like the little spine crawling string sounds that are like they go up all chromatically, and they like the little plucky sounds, and like it gives you it literally like is a metaphor for the chills going up your spine, and it kind of gives you the same feeling as you get from that. Sound and music are like integral to making you feel the emotion of like multimedia content, whatever it is you're watching, like movies, TV shows, video games, like we've been talking about.
I just saw somebody said throaty, blood gurgling death metal, which is actually the same thing that I said about rap also goes for like some of those types of songs. Like, I'm not saying it's not cool, because I like rap, and I like some of that just like really hard screaming that doesn't really have as much of a pitch or whatever. I like all that stuff. But yeah, there's like an emotional...
I love screaming too, but like that's
when I scream,
I try to add kind of melodic content to my screaming.
Your screams are always melodic. What do you mean you try to add? That's like how you scream.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, why
it's screaming. Because I'm screaming and singing.
I think that's why a lot of people like your screaming is because
like Linkin Park, like that's what Chester did.
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
One of my early biggest influences, if you couldn't tell, was Linkin Park.
Best scream in the biz, Odd. Hell yeah, there you go.
Yeah.